What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about cash money. I'm basically going to be breaking down my entire salary working as a graduate here in Auckland, New Zealand. So if that interests you, then just keep on watching. Alright, so basically, first of all, I thought I probably should explain my job and what I do exactly. Technically my role is operations graduate, but at the moment it's basically just customer service. So I basically just answer the phone, respond to emails, that kind of thing. So it's really nothing major, nothing too difficult at all. Yeah, my yearly salary is 50,000 New Zealand dollars. Oh yeah, by the way, everything's gonna be in New Zealand dollars, so apologies if you're not from New Zealand, but I feel like it just makes sense since I get paid in New Zealand dollars. I'm from New Zealand, so yeah, I mean, if you guys want, you can just Google the currency conversion and I'm sure you'll find it. Basically, yeah, so my base salary is $50,000. I'm contracted to work 42.5 hours per week. So what does that look like? Basically, I work Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and I have 3 breaks. Technically, I should get so 2 10-minute paid breaks. So one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then a 30-minute lunch break, which is unpaid. So technically, I'm in the office for 9 hours a day, but I only get paid for 8.5 because of the lunch break. And I also occasionally have to work a Saturday as well, which basically every 4 to 5 weeks we get rostered to work a Saturday from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m, which is an extra 5 hours. But technically, like, we don't really get paid extra for that, which kind of sucks. But anyways, it was in my contract and obviously I agreed to do it, so I can't really complain. Yeah, so generally a week is 42.5 hours. And like I said, base pay is 50,000. This is before tax. And then in New Zealand, we also have something called KiwiSaver, which is like kind of the retirement thing. So you can either opt in or opt out. So basically, if you opt in, 3% of your salary gets put into this kind of savings account called KiwiSaver, which you're not really allowed to touch until you turn 65. Or I think if you want to buy your first house, then you can like use those funds. So yeah, basically 3% of your salary goes in there, and then the employer also has to pay you an extra 3% so that they basically match how much you're putting in it. And then we also get annual leave, which is 4 weeks every year. So I googled it and it's the equivalent of 8%. So when you think about that, with KiwiSaver at 3% and annual leave at 8%, my, I guess, total like salary, like including everything, would be about $55,500 per year. If you just include the base salary and then divide it by how many hours I'm working, I get $22.62 per hour. And then if you include KiwiSaver and annual leave, then it goes up to about $25 per hour. So if you don't include KiwiSaver and annual leave, my base rate is $22.62 per hour, which if you think about it is actually not very high at all, considering minimum wage in New Zealand as of April the 1st, 2022 is actually $21.20 per hour. So I'm basically just getting like $1 more or $1.40 more than minimum wage, which really is not ideal considering, you know, this is a graduate role. And, you know, I have a qualification, I have experience, which if you think about it really isn't that much. But I feel like when I got the job, I didn't really like do the math. I just kind of looked at my contract and saw the 50K and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound bad. But when you actually break down the amount of hours I do, especially including the occasional Saturday as well, it's really not that much. So there's a pro tip to you guys. When you get a contract, actually do the math and think about how many hours you're working and not just how much money you're getting paid, because yeah, when you divide it by how many hours you work, it's really not that much. And especially I know a lot of grads out there working for big companies, like you have to take into account that you're probably going to be staying late and working overtime. So even if your salary, you know, as a whole looks okay, looks pretty good, do bear in mind that if you're working overtime, to add those hours into account as well. Unfortunately, we get basically just a salary roll. So we don't clock in or clock out or anything like that. So if we do overtime, like we don't get paid for it. Those are the main numbers, but if you're interested, I'm gonna do a breakdown as well. New Zealand, if you have a student loan, automatically that gets deducted. I will include a photo here, but basically once you earn over a certain amount, which is about $21,000 a year, you'll take 12% automatically from your salary, which is almost like another tax that you're paying to pay off your loan. And then also just the general income tax, which is about 10.5% up to 14,000. And then from 14,000 to about 48,000, it's 17.5%. I'll insert a table here, but basically the more you earn, the more tax you do pay. And I get paid monthly, by the way. It's not really standard, like it depends on where you work. Like for example, when I worked in hospitality and retail, I think we would get paid every week, and then in my last internship we got paid fortnightly, but this role is monthly, so I guess it just depends on the company. Total pay for the month of June is $4,166, and then I got $125 was deducted for KiwiSaver, and then taxes, income tax, $789. Student loan, about $500. Means that my net pay was $2,751. Yeah, I don't know if that seems like a lot or not a lot. For me, luckily, I still live at home. I don't really have any expenses, so I can't really complain because I'm pretty much saving all of that money, you know, it just goes into my savings. Yeah, I hope you guys have found this video interesting and a little bit informative. I've been very, very transparent because honestly, I don't feel like I have anything to hide, and I don't think defined by how much money I make. I know some people don't like talking about money, but I don't really care because like it's just money, and at the end of the day, it doesn't define your worth. You know, your job really doesn't define who you are as a person, and honestly I don't think I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life anyway. But yeah, I thought I'd just be very open and honest and transparent so you guys can get like a realistic kind of view of how much you can make as this graduate. Bear in mind, I know a lot of people that make a lot more than me, and probably there's people that make less, but anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.